A South African company has won the opportunity to stop COVID-19 misinformation. Sea Monster, which is based in Cape Town, has received a grant of 1.4 million rands to this effect. It'll be releasing a series of games, animations and quizzes to create a safe space in which people can engage with information to help them bust myths and identify fake news. Gillis is the Chief Executive Officer of Sea Monster, and he joins us now live. A very good morning to you, Glenn. Thank you so much for your time. So talk to us about this competition and how it worked.
Good morning, and thank you very much indeed for the opportunity to talk about this important win for us and the important work that still needs to be done as we counter disinformation around the vaccine and, in fact, so many other diseases. The Global Engagement Center is an initiative funded by the US Department of State and the European Union, amongst others. And they recently put out a call for innovative technology that could be used to counter propaganda and disinformation across the African continent. There were 8 companies that were shortlisted, and the prize for the 3 winners was $250,000. I'm glad to say that we got $100,000 of that. And there were 2 other companies, one from Kenya and one from the Congo, and we're super glad to be partnering with them to provide a more total solution as we start to do the hard work around this in this area.
How many people are you hoping to reach with this app, Glenn?
A lot, as many as possible. And remember, we've also got to be modest in terms of what it is that this piece of the grant actually is there to do. So what's really, really critical for us is that we're going to be able to make the animated and gaming content, as you said. We have a platform, and I can talk more to that in a minute, that's going to help us keep costs down and make sure that this is as low friction, as low data requirements as possible to get to as many people as possible. But it is also a call to action. There's so many companies and organizations in Africa and in South Africa doing good work, looking to get the good message out there, to talk about the scientific underpinnings, to help counter the disinformation. And so the idea is that they can now take this content, which will be available for free. They maybe want to add onto that, add their special flavor onto it, so that really it's the beginning of a way for us to get to tens of thousands, tens of millions of people. From the technology side, there are no limiting factors. Clearly, once this is out there, it's available to everybody, and that's where our platform comes in. And we're also hoping to do this in multiple languages to further reduce friction. Then it's up to the partnerships, the medical aids, the corporates, the many NGOs working in this space who are desperately looking for good quality, engaging content that is scientifically backed, to be able to put out to their communities.
Glenn, there's been so much misinformation about COVID-19, starting when, of course, we went into lockdown last year, and then there's been so much misinformation about the vaccination and what it is vaccines do to you, whether or not it's important to take them. So what exactly kind of misinformation are we, if you can just talk to us about general misinformation about this pandemic?
So we're not the deep experts in the area of content and the vaccine per se, and we're really the experts in terms of packaging this up and getting it out into the world. But of course, we've spent a lot of time with the subject matter experts on this, and I guess it also depends on the approach that we're taking, and we're still in discussions with the Global Engagement Center about exactly where to start. Do we go deep into a specific country and try to get to those cultural challenges, those cultural biases that prevent people from taking the next step, or do we go with a message which is broader? The WHO, the Center for Disease Control, the South African Department of Health have all put out very good quality information that's incredibly well researched. And so really we're going to take that and just present it back to people in a way which is visual, bite size and cuts across literacy levels and cultural contexts. And as I say, the strategy is still being formed, and that's why this is also partly a call to action for other companies and organizations to come on board and say, okay, so let's go into a particular community and we've developed an understanding about some hesitancy. You know how much we've learned over the years around ARVs, for example, in the treatment of HIV. And so it's still people, it's still a disease. And we've got a huge amount that we can leverage from those experiences and then apply to this new context. So yeah, it's a journey. It's not a one shot going to solve this problem for us. Yeah, you know better than anybody. Cultural bias is a massive challenge around these things, and that's really, I guess, is the main thing we want to start to address.
Of course. And just before I let you go, Glenn, one of the stories dominating headlines this week has been the irregular payment of 150 million rands to Digital Vibes by the Health Department. Talk to me about, is this the kind of figure that gets paid for the dissemination of information to companies such as Sea Monster that needs to be giving out information, the right kind of information out there?
Yeah, we're absolutely heartbroken. I'm completely devastated. You know, as South Africans, and I don't want to talk to the specifics of that. Clearly, you know, it's not even in front of a court of law yet, but, you know, we can all draw our own conclusions, I guess. Yeah, it's gut-wrenching. You know, we're a small business. We're struggling to survive. We're doing well. We're competing well above our weight globally. We are the fourth industrial revolution. We are that 51% black-owned company that everybody's talking about. And here you and I are talking about an award for 1.5 million rand. For 15 million rand, we built Old Mutual, one of the biggest digital education, financial education platforms on the continent. For 5 million rand, we built FNB, a world-class entrepreneurial solution that is delivered in 5 languages. We don't have a supply problem in South Africa. We've got a demand problem. And unless there are low-friction, credible procurement processes with our government as the enabler to do the work that we mandated them to do, you know, it's just a tragedy, and it's unfolding on our watch. So I won't comment to the specifics other than say that for 150,000 rand, you can get unicorns and you can create an industry. You can create permanent jobs. That's the kind of number. As small as it seems, or big as it is, I don't know. You decide. It's in our industry, the serious gaming industry. It would change the landscape for us to compete globally. And so, yeah, absolutely gut-wrenching that the money doesn't go to credible organizations to do the good work. But let's hope that the Global Engagement Center, this initiative, you know, we're very hopeful, we're very positive about what we can do, and that others will come and you know, bring your insights, bring your communities, bring your money. We really are looking to partner with people to address this from the ground up. Let's take, you know, seize our own destinies here. These are our people, and we still do care about them. So let's do that.
Of course. Glenn, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations for receiving this opportunity and that 1.4 million rand grant. That is Glenn Gillis, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Sea Monster.